Welcome to Kieu Dung channel. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to support me in creating more meaningful videos. Today, we'll follow Sung Luyen and her little daughter as they harvest fresh vegetables to sell and together reap rice on the high mountain fields. Let's enjoy this beautiful and inspiring journey together. Early in the morning, beside the small, thatched house nestled deep within the mountains, the gentle wind rustles through the trees, blending with the soft song of birds waking to a new day. A light mist drifts across the valley, and the first rays of sunlight begin to touch the green leaves and distant hills. In front of her little home, Sung Luyen quietly prepares for the day. She gathers her baskets, checks her knife, and packs a small meal to take along. Every move is calm and steady, a rhythm she knows well from years of working the land. Today, she plans to harvest the vegetables she has carefully grown, ready to take them to the market for sale. With determination in her eyes, she lifts her basket, steps onto the narrow mountain path, and begins her journey. The forest hums softly around her, and the sound of her footsteps fades into the whisper of the morning breeze. When Sung Luyen finally arrives at her small mountain garden, the morning sun has just risen high enough to cast a soft golden light across the slopes. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the gentle scent of earth and dew. She pauses for a moment, setting her bamboo basket down beside a large rock, and takes a deep breath, looking over the patch of green vegetables swaying lightly in the breeze. These are the fruits of her hard work, planted weeks ago, cared for every day with patience and love. She kneels down, brushes aside the damp leaves, and begins to harvest each bunch of fresh mustard greens carefully. Her hands move skillfully, gently loosening the soil and pulling out the roots without tearing the tender leaves. The sound of rustling plants mixes with the chirping of birds nearby, creating a peaceful rhythm that only the mountains can offer. Every handful of greens she gathers is placed neatly into the basket, layer by layer, forming a beautiful mix of vibrant green tones. Occasionally, she stops to shake off a few drops of dew from her hands, or to rest her back while gazing toward the distant hills. The sun slowly climbs higher, painting the mountain ridges in warm light. A soft smile appears on her face, not of luxury, but of quiet satisfaction. For Sung Luyen, every bunch of vegetables represents not just food, but life, the reward for her effort, the way she provides for herself and her little daughter. She continues working steadily, moving row by row, her fingers stained with the color of rich soil. The cool mountain breeze plays with her hair, and though the work is hard, her heart feels light. Each plant she harvests seems to carry with it a story, a reminder of mornings spent watering, afternoons spent clearing weeds, and evenings spent watching the garden grow under the sunset. As the basket begins to fill, she takes a short break, sitting on a nearby rock and wiping the sweat from her forehead. The peaceful scenery stretches before her. Valleys covered in mist, birds gliding between treetops, and the distant echo of a mountain stream. It's a world far from the noise of the city, but it's a life that brings her true contentment. After a few moments of rest, Sung Luyen stands up again, lifts her basket, and walks to the next patch of greens. Her movements are calm and graceful, like a quiet dance between woman and nature. Each plant she gathers adds to the story of her day, a story of perseverance, simplicity, and gratitude for the blessings hidden in the earth. Gently, Sung Luyen places each bunch of mustard greens neatly together. She arranges them carefully, making sure the leaves stay fresh and uncrushed. The bright green colors blend beautifully under the morning sunlight.
Every bundle is tied with a thin strip of bamboo, simple yet tidy, ready for the journey down the mountain. She looks at her work with quiet pride, knowing that each bunch she gathers will help provide for her small family.
Sung Luyen sits quietly beside her garden, gently holding each freshly picked bunch of greens. With her rough, weathered hands, she begins to brush away the soil clinging to the roots. Each soft tap sends tiny bits of earth falling back to the ground, mixing with the damp soil beneath her feet. The morning sunlight filters through the trees, glimmering on the drops of dew still resting on the leaves. One by one, she cleans each plant with care. Her hands move slowly and steadily, filled with patience and gentleness. As the thick layer of dirt loosens, the pale white roots are revealed, clean and smooth. Every now and then, she pauses to shake the bunch lightly, letting the last bits of dust fall away before continuing her work. The faint sound of falling soil blends with the whisper of the wind and the soft songs of birds. She doesn't hurry. Instead, she works calmly, completely focused on each plant, as if every touch carries her love and connection to this mountain land.
After cleaning all the roots, Sung Luyen takes a thin hemp rope from her basket and begins to tie each bunch of vegetables together. Her hands move skillfully, wrapping the rope around the stems and securing each bundle neatly. One by one, she places the tied bunches into her bamboo basket, arranging them carefully so the leaves stay fresh and unbruised. As the basket gradually fills up, the green color of the vegetables stands out brightly under the morning light. When it's finally full, she gently presses the last bunch on top and uses a strong rope to fasten the load tightly, making sure nothing will fall out on her way down the mountain. She pauses for a moment, looks at her work with quiet satisfaction, then lifts the heavy basket onto her back, ready to begin the long walk home. When Sung Luyen arrives home, she sets down her heavy basket and steps inside her small house. There, she reaches for her familiar shoulder bag, the one she always carries to the market. After checking that everything is ready, she closes the door gently behind her and begins her walk down the mountain path, heading toward the market below. Reaching the small village market, Sung Luyen gently sets her bamboo basket down beside a little grocery shop. She wipes the sweat from her forehead, then carefully takes out each bundle of fresh vegetables and arranges them neatly on the wooden shelf. The green leaves look bright and inviting under the morning sun. Once everything is in place, she sits quietly beside her display, her eyes warm and patient, waiting for the first customers to arrive and start their day's shopping. Before long, a few villagers begin to arrive at the market, drawn by the sight of the fresh green vegetables. One by one, they come to choose the bundles they like most. Some smile and greet Sung Luyen, praising how fresh and crisp the greens look. She returns each smile with gratitude, wrapping the vegetables carefully for them. The sound of friendly voices and laughter fills the air as her morning's hard work slowly turns into the joy of small earnings and warm connections.
After selling all her vegetables, Sung Luyen takes the coins she has earned and walks over to a small seed shop nearby. Inside, she carefully looks through the colorful packets, mustard greens, beans, and corn, studying each one before making her choice. With a gentle smile, she selects a few new seeds to plant for the next season. After paying, she tucks the seed packets safely into her shoulder bag.
Stepping outside, she takes one last look at the busy market, then turns toward the familiar mountain path. With steady steps, she begins her journey home, climbing back up to the quiet hills where her little house and garden await. When Sung Luyen finally returns home, the sun is already high in the sky. Tired and hungry after a long morning, she sets down her basket and takes out a few leftover bundles of vegetables. Carrying them to the nearby mountain stream, she kneels down and gently rinses each bunch in the cool, clear water. The fresh scent of the greens fills the air as the dirt washes away. With a quiet smile, she gathers them up, ready to prepare a simple meal to ease her hunger after a hard day's work. After washing the vegetables, Sung Luyen returns to her small kitchen. She places the greens neatly on a bamboo tray, then takes out her old blackened pot, the one she's used for many years. She scoops a handful of rice, rinses it carefully, and fills the pot with clear stream water. Setting it over the small wood stove, she lights a fire with a few dry twigs gathered earlier. The soft crackle of the fire mixes with the gentle sound of boiling water. Steam slowly rises, carrying the warm, comforting scent of rice cooking. As she tends the fire, Sung Luyen sits quietly beside the pot, resting her tired hands. It's a peaceful moment, simple, calm, and full of gratitude, the kind of life she has built with her own hard work each day. After the rice is set to cook, Sung Luyen takes another pot and places it beside the fire. She pours a small amount of cooking oil into it, waiting until it begins to sizzle softly. Then she adds the fresh mustard greens, the aroma quickly filling the small kitchen. A simple yet satisfying meal after a long day of work. When the food is ready, Sung Luyen carefully takes the pots off the fire. She scoops the warm, fragrant rice into a small bowl and places the stir-fried greens beside it. Sitting on the wooden floor of her little home, she begins to enjoy her simple lunch. The taste is plain but comforting, the flavor of hard work and peace. As she eats slowly, a gentle breeze drifts through the open doorway, carrying the scent of the forest and the sound of distant birds. For her, this humble meal is enough, a quiet reward after a long morning's labor. After finishing her meal, Sung Luyen gathers the new seeds she bought from the market and walks back to her garden. The afternoon sun is warm as she gently loosens the soil with her hands and begins to sow the tiny seeds one by one. Each seed carries her hope for the coming days, a quiet promise of new life sprouting in the mountain soil. Because she doesn't have a dining table, Sung Luyen decides to build one herself. After finishing her work in the garden, she walks into the small shed beside her house and gathers a few pieces of leftover wood she's kept from past repairs. With her simple tools, a small saw, a hammer, and a handful of nails, she begins shaping each plank carefully. She measures the height with her hand, imagining how her little daughter will sit beside her. Then, piece by piece, she nails the wooden boards together, the sound of each hammer strike echoing softly across the valley. The smell of fresh wood fills the air, and despite the heat, she keeps working patiently, her brow damp with sweat, but her eyes full of determination. When the final nail is in place, she steps back and looks at her work. A small but sturdy wooden table, smooth and simple. She wipes away the sawdust with her hand, a faint smile appearing on her face. Though humble, this table means much more than just a place to eat. It's a sign of her love and care, a space where she and her daughter can share meals, laughter, and moments of warmth after long days in the mountains.
The next morning, the mist still hangs low over the valley as Sung Luyen prepares for another long day. This time, she brings along her little daughter Kieu Dung. The child follows closely beside her mother, her small hands clutching the edge of the bamboo basket. Together, they begin the steep climb up the mountain, where the terraced fields stretch endlessly along the hillsides. When they arrive, the air is filled with the sound of people working, sickles cutting through golden rice stalks, laughter echoing across the slopes. The harvest season has come, and the fields shimmer in shades of gold under the morning sun. Sung Luyen greets the other villagers, then rolls up her sleeves and starts working. With steady, practiced movements, she bends down, cutting the ripe rice and laying each bundle neatly on the ground. Beside her, little Kieu Dung watches with wide eyes, sometimes helping by gathering the cut stalks into small piles. Though her hands are tiny, she tries her best, proud to be part of her mother's work. The mountain breeze blows gently, carrying the sweet scent of ripe grain. Their laughter mingles with the songs of the workers, turning the hillside into a scene of simple, honest joy. As the day goes on, the sun climbs higher, and sweat glistens on Sung Luyen's face. Yet she keeps working, driven by love and the hope of a better life for her daughter. Every handful of rice she gathers is not just a wage, it's a step toward their dreams, built through hard work and perseverance. By noon, the baskets are full, and the golden field begins to show patches of freshly cut stubble. Sung Luyen straightens her back, takes a deep breath, and looks over the valley below. The sight of her daughter smiling by her side fills her heart with quiet pride. No matter how hard life is, moments like these remind her that every effort is worth it. If you enjoyed this story of Sung Luyen and little Kieu Dung, don't forget to subscribe to the Kieu Dung channel. Like and share this video. Your support means so much and helps us continue bringing you heartfelt stories of everyday life in the mountains. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.